Okay, so remember in the exam you are going to be asked a question about bias. Now at level 2 they're quite likely to phrase it like this. They'll give you an extract from two sources and ask you which extract is the least biased or potentially which extract is the most biased. It's more or less the same question. What you're doing is you're identifying which text is more biased than the other text and putting your answer down depending on how they phrase the question. So in this extract we are looking at these two extracts both deal with mobile phones. You've got extract 1 here, which is with the green background, and extract 2 here with the blue background. What we need to do with this is we need to read both the extracts and decide which one we think is least biased. Now, if you remember from earlier, bias is all about when someone presents just one side of an argument or is really trying to push something, trying to sell something. So you'd look for things where the writer is only giving the positives and not really giving any negatives, or vice versa. So pause this video, have a read through both those extracts and see what you think. Okay, so the least biased text here, the answer you should have got, is text 1. That's the text in green which starts with battery life. Now, this question is usually divided into two parts. It asks you which text is least biased, and then it asks you to give a reason for your choice. Now, the simplest, most straightforward reason you are going to identify a text as biased or less biased is to do with whether it gives both sides of an argument. So let's have a look at both of these here. So the second one is talking about Galactica 1, which is a type of phone. It's saying back in 2009 we decided we wanted to make a phone that would be all things to all people. As you read through that second text there in blue, you should notice that it's not really giving you any negatives about the phone. However, if we compare this to the first source in green, it's kind of giving you a bit more information, and it's kind of giving you both sides. It's saying, yes, smartphones are good, but they drink the juice, in this case being in battery life, so regular charging is necessary. It also says, always ask about battery life before buying a phone. So it's highlighting a potential negative of this mobile phone. It gives both sides of the story as well, because then it goes on to talk about the new phone, which has got a 48-hour battery life, which they think is impressive compared to other camera phones. So this first text seems to be sort of giving both sides of the story. It tends to be discussing various, not only the great things about phones, but also the negative things as well. So that would be a perfectly legitimate reason for that. So we could say, for instance, the reason for our choice is because the first text gives you both sides of the story and also gives some negatives of mobile phones. Other things to look out for is a sheer number of persuasive language features in this second text here. So you've got rhetorical questions. So why should you have to choose between the phone with the best camera over the phone with the best music player? And we believe it's so good we're offering a month's free trial. So it's really trying to sell it. And we know that once you've tried it, you won't want to give it back. So again, use of hyperbole there. So you could also comment on the sheer amount of persuasive language features in the second text compared to the first. What they're looking for here is you justifying why you've decided that one text is less biased over another, or one text is more biased over another. And again, there are multiple right reasons for this. So there you go. That's how you go about answering the bias in text question at level 2.